Winter weather advisory in effect from noon today to 7 a.m. Friday. Total snow accumulations of 1 to 4 inches. The following impacts are expected. Icy travel conditions may develop later this afternoon and into the evening.
What's up, everyone? It is April 16th. Let me check that. Yes, it is April. We're in a winter storm warning right now here in Iowa. We're expecting 5 to 8 inches of snow overnight. I've got a second season tag for Iowa, and I've got probably 3 or 4 days that I can hunt out of the 5-day season before we head to Indiana for the next leg of the turkey tour. So I'm headed out, trying to see if I can roost some birds this evening. Visibility is getting worse as I'm driving here. Slush is building up on the road, so this may be a bit of a bust tonight. Bunch of gobblers right there. Unfortunately, they aren't anywhere near public land, so I won't be going after these birds, but they are fun to watch and film at least. But right now my plan is that unless I get birds roosted on public this evening, I'm probably gonna skip the morning hunt and go out midday to early afternoon when the weather breaks and the sun comes out. As much as I'd like to hunt all day long, I've got a bunch of editing to get done. But either way, I'm excited. This is a rare opportunity to hunt turkeys in 8 inches of snow in southern Iowa in mid-April. So it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be an adventure. It's about 3 o'clock and I'm heading out for the afternoon. The sun's out now, it's starting to warm up a little bit into the upper 30s, lower 40s. So my plan for the afternoon is to bounce around to maybe 2 to 3 different spots, areas that we've hunted in the past where we know there's turkeys. And the first area that I'm gonna go to is actually the spot where I shot a tom last year. It would have been in early May. This is one of our favorite spots because there's an open field with timber on both sides where the birds roost. And then at the high point of this field is a really good spot to call down into that timber. And like I said, this is pretty much exactly where I shot that gobbler last year, called him right up to the top there. So I'm gonna scout my way in, check for fresh tracks in the snow, see if there's any birds that have been in the immediate area, and then get up on that high point and probably sit down for a little while, call, and if nothing happens there, move on to another spot. So that's the plan. See if I can put my tag on a mid-April snow gobbler here in Iowa.
Well, that's what I was looking for right there. And there's tracks and droppings all up and down this road. This fresh gobbler poop right here may work up on top of the hill, may actually set down for a while, put the decoy out, because there's definitely a bird in the area. How many times have you brought snow camo with you? I've got pretty good cover with the cedar behind me, so I don't think I'll need it. I just got set up on this high point in this field here. A roadway is just off to my left where I found those fresh gobbler tracks. This is almost exactly where I shot that gobbler last year, just under slightly different circumstances. A little bit warmer, a little bit greener. This is just an area that there's consistently turkeys in, and we talk about diversity all the time. And if you look around, there's a lot of diversity right here. Drops off from cattle pasture, rolling timber, down into marshy bottom. I figured I would at least spend a little bit of time here, do some calling, listen, before I move on somewhere else. I mean, I know there's a gobbler been through here recently. There's fresh tracks in the roadway, fresh droppings. The turkeys like to move back and forth across this field here. Got roosting timber off to the left, roosting timber off to the right, and this is just a high point right in between the two. How about that? Pretty sure that was a gobble. Dang, I wish Aaron was here. He'd been able to tell me for sure. Yep, for sure. closer that time. Getting closer. He's gobbled about 4 or 5 different times now, and he's been closer every time. Last time he gobbled sounded like he's about 150 yards. I got that decoy set up to where if he pops out on the edge, he'll be able to see it right away. Snow gobbler. Holy cow. Are you kidding me? Oh, yeah. Oh, look at this. Man, I can't believe that. I'm sure it looks absolutely ridiculous. I'm guessing the GoPro caught that gobbler coming in the whole way, and I'm looking off in this direction, off to my left, where I heard him gobbling last. He must have circled down low and then came straight up on top. I've never been caught so off guard, which is unfortunate because I would have loved to have gotten all that footage of him coming across the top of the field like that. First day, been out for an hour. Crazy. Got a gobbler down in the snow. Big old strutter. All right, well, I'm gonna go have a look at this turkey here, but I figured out why. There's a couple reasons why that bird snuck in so close. One is the fact that I was watching kind of down to my left, because I heard him gobbling down in the timber. I anticipated that he was gonna come out somewhere on the edge and come up like that. But also my vision was obscured by the camera. I'll be interested to watch the footage from the GoPro here, see what my reaction was. I mean, it was just almost disbelief that he had snuck in like that. But as you can see, this hide is just killer. Sun at my back, that cedar tree made that hide. As I was walking up here, you can see how open it is, and with the snow on the ground, I figured if I was sitting in there, I would just look like a blob. And then thankfully, that cedar tree was right there with a pretty good size hedge tree next to it, so all that just made for perfect cover. Well done. Oh yeah, hefty. Man, look at that. Came in full strut. That is so cool. I mean, this snow is going to be gone tomorrow. It's supposed to be in the 50s. A lot of it's melted off already. But the cool thing is, on my way out here, I get to retrace his steps, figure out exactly what happened. I mean, how often do you get to do that? Right now, it's leading back that way. Last time I heard him gobble, somewhere down in there. Maybe he looped around to that low field and then came up on top, or maybe it was a completely different bird altogether. I don't know. I would doubt that this was a different bird that came from a different direction, but I was definitely hearing that one gobble down in the timber. You can see what I was talking about how most of that tree line is just so open that it wouldn't have worked out, but it just so happens that that cedar tree is right there, basically right on top where I wanted to be, to where I could call down to either side. Came right up to the decoy and he was focused on it, and that allowed me to get the camera on him, get the gun up, and I waited for him to turn and have his head kind of get away from his body so I could get a clean shot, and there he lays.
So I'm guessing this is going to change plans a little bit. Aaron was going to come back and film me on Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday as I finished out the second shotgun season. But my second season tag did not last very long. And it doesn't always happen that way. Some years we struggle, even with as good as the public land hunting is around here. Some years we struggle, and sometimes get to a good spot, you sit down and call, and you get one to respond and come in right away. You know, don't let the weather conditions deter you from going hunting, especially when you have a limited amount of time to go. You know, this is a 5-day tag. You know, another good example, a couple years ago, Zach's dad, Doug, came and hunted here in Iowa, and I believe that was the first season. It would have been about the same time of year, mid-April. And a cold front had come through. There was, I believe, at least a dusting of snow on the ground, if not an inch or two. But it was, you know, cold and snowy then, and they had a great hunt right off the roost. Man, I'm fired up. I was able to get a snow gobbler. So I'm gonna follow his tracks back, see exactly where he came from. Maybe in for a bit of a surprise here. Starting to cut back. See, here's this other block of timber. So it looks like he's gonna come through this gap here. Yeah, yep, still on it. It may get a little tricky here. Okay, here we go. Okay, that's making more sense now. That was the bird that I heard gobbling. For a minute, as the tracks were angling the other way, I thought it was gonna be a totally different bird that had come in silent, but it was the same bird that I heard gobbling. I was hearing him gobbling in the timber and thought he was going to come right up on top to where I was at. Instead, he came out in this lower field through that gap and then right up on top. All right, now it's getting harder to tell which tracks are his. There's a bunch of turkey tracks in this bean field, which I'm not surprised. In hindsight, had I done more calling, I might have known that he was taking a different route to get up here, but got the snow gobbler I was hoping for. Man, what a beautiful setting. I mean, just look at this. I love turkey hunting. It never gets old.